This is the Reading Instruction Show. I am your host, as always, Dr. Andy Johnson. Topic of today's video, 12 essential pillars of reading instruction, 7 pillars full of a full load. Let's get on with it. 1997, the National Institute of Child Health and Human Development asked a group of experts to come together and create this national reading panel report thing. And there was a lot of issues with that. But they came up with 5 pillars, what they call pillars of reading instruction. Nothing new. We had thought of this before. Nothing wrong with the 5 pillars, except they're 7 pillars short of a full load. Let me explain. Comprehensive literacy instruction, comprehensive reading instruction consists of not 5, but 12 essential elements. The first one, phonemic awareness, the ability to hear and manipulate sounds within a word. And it usually involves blending and putting together, segmenting, blending, and putting together. Segmenting is pulling apart, blending is putting together. Phoneme awareness, and usually this is done preschool, kindergarten, maybe first grade. When children are reading comfortably at grade 1, there's no need to continue this. And by the way, some students need this, some students don't. Some students come to kindergarten because of their past exposure to books and language and whatnot with absolutely no need of phonemic awareness activities at all. It is one of 12 components. Phonics instruction and word work. Absolutely, abso-stinkin-lutely, everybody believes that direct and explicit phonics instruction is an essential part of any reading program. I don't know of anyone today who doesn't think that phonics instruction is not important. It's not the what, it's the how and the how much of phonics instruction. And here's a teacher engaged in large unit phonics. Word recognition. Word recognition is different from word identification. Word recognition is you're reading, you see a word, you go, I recognize you. You automatically know what it is. It's in your lexicon, the dictionary in your head, and you can identify it without having to decode it or break down the parts. Now, there are 3 cueing systems, and people freak out over that word because they don't know what it is. 3 systems that cue the brain into what the word might be as you're reading. And a cueing system is not a strategy or a skill or an approach. It's a recognition that the brain uses multiple sources of information as we're reading. Uses graphophonetic cues, that's letter clues, absolutely. It also uses semantic cues, which is meaning, context. And it also uses syntactic cues, which is grammar or word order. All these work together to help us identify words as we are reading. Some would add a 4th one, the pragmatic system or pragmatic cues. That's the meaning of it. Now, what 3 cueing is not is meaning, structure, and visual. I have no idea what that's about, but that's often confused. And again, cueing system is not a strategy or a skill. It's a recognition. And there are various activities that we can do to develop each of these. Activities for word identification. Here's how identification differs from recognition. You're reading, you see a word, it's in your lexicon, but you can't recognize it. So you need to consciously employ some strategy so that you know what it is, so that you can recognize it. There are 4 basic word identification strategies, and all 4 should be taught. Analogy, or large unit phonics. What's a part of that word that you recognize? Morphemic analysis, smallest unit of meaning, prefix, suffix, affix, root. Context, what makes sense within the sentence, semantics. And phonics, or decoding. Each one of these should be taught using direct and explicit instruction. These are strategies that we consciously employ, but we teach the strategy to develop the skill, meaning after a while, they become automatic and students don't have to think about these things. Daily reading practice. The volume of reading has been associated with almost everything good in reading: comprehension, fluency, vocabulary, conceptual knowledge. How are you supposed to get better at anything without practicing? And even the National Reading Panel report says that students need opportunities to practice the skills read in real life reading situations. And these should be books at students' independent level or below, and ideally self-selected, that is, books that students want to read. Social interaction and conversation around good books, absolutely. Now, oral speech, social language helps develop the other literacy systems, but writing and reading is a social process, and we like to talk about books. It helps us develop depth of thinking and knowledge about things. That should be a part of our reading instruction. We should have planned and purposeful. These need not be long, 3 to 10 minutes, but you should have spaces in that curriculum where students are talking about good books with other students and about their writing as well. Authentic writing experiences. These are experiences where students are writing and sharing their ideas and their experiences. And these need not be long, again, 3 to 10 minutes, but they should be pre-writing, drafting, and sharing their ideas with students. Can be used as pre and post. You can use writing to reinforce letter sounds. You can do phonics within the context of a writing prompt. Comprehension instruction. Yes, instruction. We use direct and explicit instruction to teach the cognitive processes related to comprehension. These are things like inferencing, prediction, summary, cause and effect, but also to teach the study skill strategies, how to read informational text, how to read a textbook. Activities to develop word knowledge. Children learn between 3,000 and 5,000, depending on the research, words a year. We cannot direct our instruction our way to good vocabulary. We can't use direct instruction. So we need a variety of activities to develop depth and dimension. You can't direct instruction your way to good vocabulary. The best one is to be exposed to it through teacher interaction, adult interaction, but also wide reading are among some of the many strategies. The affective element. We think and we emote with the same brain. It's silly to think that one would not impact the other. We need to do things, number one, to help children fall in love with books so they want to read. And number two, we do not frustrate and humiliate so they shut down. We attend to emotion and motivation. That's the affective element. Fluency for those who need it. Fluency is the ability to quickly process words as you're reading. Has nothing to do with accuracy or expression, although prosody is a part of that. Social cultural background, absolutely. We use what students are bringing to us to enhance their literacy experience. We use their past literacy experience, their past conversational experiences. We use this to help them become more literate human beings. Now, systems theory, a system is an interacting, interconnected, interdependent set of elements working together to form a unified whole. We might think of the 12 elements of comprehensive literacy because they interact and one depends on the other. They are all influencing the other. We must include all of them to some degree. Now, not every student needs every element. Not every student needs every element to the same degree, but these should be included in a comprehensive reading program. Now, here is comprehensive literacy. You see 12. You see the big 5, only 5 of these. Well, 12 is better than 5 because you are developing multiple dimensions of literacy. Sadly, the science of reading says they focus on 5, but usually it focuses only on two. There's very little done with vocabulary comprehension and fluency, and what is done usually is not research-based or evidence-based. All right, this has been the Reading Instruction Show. I'm your host, Dr. Andy Johnson.